Okay, so here we are. So, Tonya, how are you doing?
I am awesome, Ethan. How are you?
I can't complain. It's a beautiful day here in New Orleans, and I'm excited to be talking with you.
Thank
Um,
you for having me.
yeah, absolutely. So, let's start. I mean, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, Tanya? Where you're from, what you do, and yeah, just tell us about yourself.
Sure. My name is Tonya Boyd Cannon. I'm a Mississippi Louisianian, born in Mississippi, raised in Louisiana, and I am a full-time vocalist, entertainer, musician, doing what I love.
Well, that's awesome. And Tanya, you joined us, if you can think all the way back to last October,
Right.
you came to some sessions that we were running at the Tipitinas Foundation at the
Mhm.
co-op in Mid-City in New Orleans. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience with the Community Leaders Program and I guess tell us how you ended up at those trainings?
The CLP was an amazing experience. To this day, to be honest with you, I don't even remember how it just happened. I can't recall. I think it was an email I got, and no, you invited me on Google. That's what it was on Google Plus,
Yeah, that's right.
and and I went on to see more about the program, and I walked in the class at Tipitina's and found other artists as myself eager to know more about marketing ourselves as artists, as well as promoting our material and the different outlets that we can use that are free resources that many artists don't know about. So once I got in class, I had a chance to not just learn more, but also help and teach some other artists who didn't know about certain, resources out there that Google is in partnership with or that Google has started. And so I continue to this day to use a lot of it, the MailChimp as well as the Google, also different ways with the Hangouts. And which Hangouts are so cool because you meet people all over the world.
Right.
So with in Google Plus, just keeping my fans and family and friends aware of what's going on with the World Wide Web.
So, what do you think are some of the key like takeaways that you got from the classes? Because obviously you were talking about some of the different tools that we talked about, but I know that we also talked a lot about like storytelling and different things related to
Right.
that. So, can you talk a little bit to what some of the like three biggest takeaways that you got from the classes?
Three biggest takeaways. One is to always be persistent and consistent. I put those two together as one because you have to be an artist that's going to be eager to get out there and constantly work. And also, when you begin to put your work out there, you have to always come back with something because it's just like a meal. When you serve someone a meal, you go to a five-star restaurant or wherever, you get your appetizer, your entree, and your dessert. If you're just given an appetizer and a dessert, you're missing that main piece. So you want to make sure your music as well as site, your performance dates or your blog, everything is consistent because once you gain that fan base, they're going to want to know more about you. The second thing I learned about from the CLP is that it's an opportunity. You're always learning from someone. Um, People that may not sound like you, may not look like you, may not even act like you. There's always a message and something from someone, so you can always learn something new. And the third thing that I continue to say to this day, that I came into the class knowing that I'm my biggest fan, but my biggest fan, but I came out knowing even more that I have to be my biggest fan because you have to love what you produce and what you give to your audience. If you're not a fan of your own material, what makes you think that they're going to be a fan of you? Good
Totally.
to always be there and be attentive to what your listeners want to hear, be attentive to what they don't want to hear, and also be able to take the criticism that's going to come with it because as an artist you can't please everybody. So have that tough skin to know that if this is what you love to do, you're willing to take everything that comes with it.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for that. Those are some big takeaways outside of just using the internet. I love that. That's amazing.
Yeah, thank
So I'll ask you two more questions.
you.
So one is, why do you think the internet is important as an artist? What do you think the internet allows artists to do that makes it an important tool for them to use?
The internet allows artists to do everything in the industry, not just music, but also in the industry of healing when it comes to the medical side of it. Also, when it comes to the food. I mean, music is in everything that we do. You go to a restaurant, you're going to hear music. You go to a hospital, you're going to hear music. You go to the library, you may not hear anything, but you're going to see someone with headphones on bobbing to their music.
That's me.
Music is music is so transcendent and it goes across the world. And with the internet, myself, I'm able to gain some fans in New Zealand as we speak who are rocking in New Orleans. What do they know about going on Frenchman Street or going over to, Verdi Mart? None of that. But when they come to New Orleans, the connection of knowing that here she is in New Orleans, we're all the way in New Zealand, Australia. I had some fans from Brazil. And once they come to New Orleans, they know, oh, Verdi Mart, Tonya. You are able to make connections. You're also able to make connections on the family side, a friend side, a fan side, but a business side. You're able to meet with CEOs or A&Rs like we're doing right now with a Hangout.
Yeah.
We're able to reach people on all levels across the globe. And so the internet has evolved in so many ways. And I just I'm even more excited to see where it can continue to grow to, because now you can make grocery on the internet. I mean, you can film a video, you can film a video with your cell phone, edit it on your cell phone, put it on YouTube and get millions of hits. So it's so much that you can do. You can get GarageBand on your phone, record a track, and you can create a jam session. For instance, you and I can do a jam session. You send me your material, and it's across the internet.
And we take this so for granted. We totally take this for granted. Like the fact that you can pull out a piece of like glass and metal from your pocket and record something and then send it to someone on the opposite side of the world is unbelievable.
Exactly, and that's what makes it even more exciting to do, because just like we're excited of what we put out there and want to gain the fan base, we also have to be careful what we put out there, because once it goes out there on the World Wide Web, it's hard to take it back. So as an artist, make sure that we're always representing ourselves and our, circle, our businesses and our, record companies. Make sure we're representing them to the best of our ability, because we don't want there to be an instance where something happens and we try to take it back. So there are pros and cons, but I want everyone to take away the pros and remember that, once you put it out there, just hope for the best. All you can get from it is, a yes or a no. And you may get a lot of no's before you get that one yes, but as long as you're being yourself and you're giving 100%, they'll receive it.
Well, that's awesome. I have one last question, which is, if you had any piece of advice for an aspiring musician, whether it's a New Orleans musician or someone in New Zealand, what would your advice be to them as they're just getting started?
Wow. It's been almost 20 years since I've been doing this, and my biggest dream happened, #Tonya's dream, happened when I turned 35. On my 35th birthday, I was given the opportunity to audition before the major producers for The Voice, and here I am today on The Voice. And my biggest advice is to never stop dreaming. Never stop dreaming, because you never know when you're going to wake up living your dream. And you're going to, like I said, you're going to get many no's, but all it takes is continue to take those no's and build steps from them. And you keep climbing. And as you climb and you climb, you'll get one yes. And you take that yes and you give a chunk of steps and you keep on climbing until you reach your dreams. I mean, be yourself, because everybody else is taken. So live your dream and live it well.
Well, that is a great place to end. I mean, that's advice for musicians and advice for pretty much any human being on the planet. So
Oh yeah.
that's amazing. Thank you so much, Tonya, for your time. So many
Thank you for having me.
congratulations. Seriously, I'm so like eternally proud of you, and it's amazing to see where you are today versus where you were in October, and like you said, just keep
Yeah.
on climbing.
Yeah. Keep on climbing.
I'm gonna hit stop broadcast.